All right. So why don't you start by introducing yourself?
I'm Wendy McAllister.
And you're my mom.
Yep,
Okay. You have a son with Asperger's syndrome.
yep.
Can you, for me, define what you think and what you've learned that Asperger's syndrome is in your own words? Like, what are some of the commonalities of it and things like that?
I know that it's high functioning autism.
Which
I,
means what?
which means that for the most part, he can do things like the rest of us. He's just socially inept. He doesn't socialize. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He does a lot of really quirky things. His diet, he's very regimented. Um, Set in his own ways, very interested only in talking about what he's interested in, no one else. A lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, anxiety, very much a warrior, very honest to the point where it's embarrassing. He'll tell you how he feels whether you want to hear it or not. Um, Not autism like banging the head or repetitive movements or nonverbal. He's very verbal. Almost, he talked early and has a high vocabulary. Um,
Are you basing your definition on Michael, or have you learned that this is common for all kids with Asperger's?
well, with me, it was deal with symptoms I didn't know what it was, and then I had to find out what it was, and then he was diagnosed when he was 18 years old. What I know about it, I learned from reading about it and applying it to Michael and realizing that that's what he had, and then he had an official diagnosis from a psychologist who
So what
specializes.
did what did you think was quote wrong with him before you found out the diagnosis?
I had no idea. All I knew was that he was definitely different. He had a hard time with friendships. He was different than the other kids. Um, Other kids were very cruel to him because he was different. Um, he became overstimulated a lot. We'd go into stores and there would be stimulation overload, and um, he I didn't know what was wrong. I took him to therapists. They tried different medications, antidepressants, things like that, but for the most part I never really knew why he was the way he was. I had no idea why at all. So
So as a parent, what was the hardest part of raising him before and after you knew?
before was just having him be so different and not having friends, not being able to, not quote unquote being like the other kids. He was very different. He never wanted to go outside. He never wanted to go to different functions or things. He always wanted to be at home. If we did go out anywhere, it was really stressful. Um, what was the question again?
As a parent, what was the hardest part?
Before and after?
Mhm.
Well, again, before was just um, kids were very cruel to him, and he'd come home very upset, and I'd have to deal with it, and I didn't know what I was dealing with. He was also, when we go to social functions, he would tell people things. He was brutally honest and would embarrass me a lot. I was embarrassed a lot by um, comments he would make if he was asked a question. He was rude a lot, and I had to constantly remind him to be polite and to that was the wrong thing to say, or why is he like this, why is he being so rude, or always he would sit in a room full of people and want them all to watch what he was watching on TV. Nobody was interested, and he turned the TV up louder and louder, and that was embarrassing. He only wanted people in his world. He didn't want to be in other people's world. So,
Okay. Opposite of that, what are the joys of having a son that is different?
for Michael alone, it's the humor. He's very funny. Um, he is very loving to me, and we are very close because he's with me all the time. Um, but he He has a great memory. He helps me remember things that I don't remember. He remembers every detail. Um, it's hard because there's a more negative than positive just as a mom because I don't know what his future holds, and he'll be able to hold a full-time job and live on his own, and so the joys are few and far between, but he's just Michael, so.
Can you describe some of his specific quirks or habits or routines? Meals, what he eats, what he does, what he's interested in.
He only eats like 5 things, and if I make something else, I know now that he just will not eat it. He will not try it. He eats the same thing
We should say that
every
he's
day.
24. I didn't mention that yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll be 24 next month.
Okay.
He eats the same things all the time because he won't try anything different or new. His diet consists of like 5 things, and he took the same lunch to school for 12 years. Same exact lunch, no difference. Everything has to be the same, and if something's different, it throws him off completely, and he can't handle it. Um,
Interests.